Okay, so previously we added a text field tag where we can input any text, press say hello, and send a message via Telegram. And also we added CRUD notifications for create, update, and delete actions for posts, so that whenever a post is deleted or edited or created, we will receive a message about this in Telegram. Looks nice. And now we're going to explore the Telegram widgets. And if we go to core Telegram org/widgets, we will see that there are 4 widgets available: sharing button, post widget, discussion widget, and login widget. And now we are going to explore the widget for logging in via Telegram. Let's open it and have a look. Okay, first we need to input our bot username. I'm going to press login as Yaro. And you see it shows 2 bots that I have previously connected. Now I'm going to connect the bot that we have created together. Which bot was it? It was Telegrails bot. So I'm going to input the name Telegrails bot, enter. Now we can select a button style, large, medium, or small. Let it be large for now. We can select whether to show or not to show the user photo. If the user currently has a Telegram account on his device from which he's browsing, then corner radius, this is just for styling. So we can select some different radiuses. Doesn't matter much, let it be default. And authorization type. Now for the authorization type, we are going to call redirect to URL. So we're going to redirect to URL, to a specific URL in our application after a successful authorization. So let's add a URL. And for the beginning, it will be just our root path. So it will be either localhost or just the root path of your Ruby on Rails application. I will add this root path. And also I will need to go into my bots in this bot folder and go to select this bot. Yeah, I will go to this bot, and inside this bot folder, I need to go to bot settings. And here I have domain. And I need to set a domain. And here, again, I input my domain. Now, for you, it can be localhost or the domain of your website. But here I input my localhost domain that I'm going to whitelist for this bot. So you see, success, domain updated. Let's go back to bot. We can see the bot settings, domain, and here we can see the domain that we have whitelisted. Okay, and in the meantime, we had this embed code generated for us. So I will copy this embed code and input it in a page in our application. Let's add this code, for example, to our home index page for the beginning. I will add this script, and just to make the script look better, I will edit it a bit. So I will have script, then I will just put each line into a separate line, and we'll have a look at this script. Okay, so we have this Telegram widget for our Telegram bot. The size is large, and this is the redirect URL. Now let's see if we can see the button. I refresh, and you see I have this button, log in as Yaro. So what will happen if I press the button? I press the button, I'm informed that I can log in, I press accept. And I got a notification in Telegram. It says, you have successfully logged in. Here's the web address, and here is the bot. And you see I have the information about the login, and I can press disconnect. And what happened in our Rails application? You see, we have this params available. So we were redirected to the root path, and we were given quite a lot of different params. Let's have a look at these params. I'll copy them into some kind of code view. And what do we have? So we have the ID of the user, the first name, the last name, the username, the authentication date, so the time, and a hash, an authentication hash. Okay, so we can also display these lines in our view. We can just display the params. I'll make it equals params, and in our params we have the ID, for example. So display the ID. I'll refresh, and here we can see the ID displayed from the params. We can also display, what can we display? Let's see. The first name, last name, username. So first name, then last name. Then we have username. Then we have some kind of time. It is auth date. And the hash. So params, hash. And I will display them. Here they are, all in one line. Let's just make it look better, and I will put them each in a separate line. So looks nice. Here is the data that we received from the params. Now, of course, if I remove the data from the params, it will not be visible. But whenever we press login as 0, we will get this line of params. So we have logged in with Telegram, and as a success from Telegram, we received all this information about our user. Looks good. Let's save our changes. We've done just one little step now. We have received our user params. So let's say git status, git add a, all, git commit main, button to log in via Telegram, and display Telegram params. Okay, now what is next? So we have successfully authenticated from Telegram, but whenever we go to any page in our application, we still have this login button, and we don't save the information about these params and this login anywhere. So what do we want to do? Well, we are going to save the information about the current login in a session. Look, in this case, you don't even have to have a user stable in the application. When a user logs in with Telegram, we will just save the information in our session. Of course, you can create a user stable, but it is something to consider later on. Let's try to have login without a database, just with keeping the information in the session. So let's say we will redirect not to the root URL, but to something like sessions/new or sessions/create. And we are going to create a sessions controller for this. Let's go to our app, controllers, and here we will create sessions controller. Now it will be class sessions controller that inherits from application controller, and here we're going to have an action create session def create end. Okay, and we're going to redirect to this sessions create path. And let's see if anything happens. I will try to log in. No, I need to refresh the page once again. I'll refresh the page, I will go back, and now I press login as 0. And you see, I get no root matches, get sessions create. Well, first of all, we want to go to our roots and update a root. Let's go here, and in the roots, we will say something like, let's try saying post sessions create to sessions create. Let's see if this works. Post sessions create to sessions create. Okay, I will refresh and get no root matches get. So we'll make it a get root. Okay, I refresh. Now root matches session create. Okay, it is session create, but we typed sessions create. Let's make it session create. Let's make it sessions create in our index view. We'll go to sessions create like this. And now we will go back. I will delete all the stuff. I'll just go back, refresh, and log in once again. And we get no template for interactive request. Sessions create is missing a template. Well, we did not create a view template for our sessions controller. So it tries to go to a view for the create action, but it doesn't find a view. But our create action does not need to have any view at all. We will just save this data from Telegram into our session. So we'll be able to save the ID, the first name, last name, username, and so on into our session. Let's try to do it. We will say session user ID, or what do we have? We have session ID. Well, it will be session user ID equals params ID. So in the create action, we redirect to the create action and we save this ID in the sessions user ID virtual column. And also we will save the session, let's say, username as the params username. So as this username. Session username equals params username. And after this, we're going to redirect to root path. And we'll have a notice, successful login via Telegram. Okay, let's refresh once again. And we got this message, successful login via Telegram. But was it really successful? How can we know? Let's check. Let's try to display the session user ID and session username somewhere in our views. For example, in our application HTML, in something like our navigation. Let's go to our layouts, application HTML, and I will try to display equals session.userid equals session.userid. Okay, and here we've saved the user ID in the session, and we can also try to display the session username. So we have saved the username and the user ID from Telegram in our current session. Looks nice. So we log in via Telegram and save some kind of information in our application. Here it is. Now, of course, at this point, you can create a new user in your database or find a user by this Telegram ID and by this username and initialize a user. But for this example, we are not creating a users table. We are keeping everything in the session. So looks great to me. We've managed to log in via Telegram and save some kind of login information in our session. Let's save our changes. I will say git status, git add all, git commit main, save Telegram login in session. Okay, so we managed to log in via Telegram and save some kind of data. And now we're going to make it so that we can actually kind of log out of Telegram. So delete our username and our Telegram ID from the current session. Let's try to do it. Let's create a link to log out. We'll have a link to log out, and the path is going to be the sessions controller destroy action. And in the destroy action, we're going to have something similar. We will say session user ID will be nil, and session username will be nil. We will redirect to the root path and say logged out. Okay, and now we will create a path to this destroy action. So what will the path be? It will be something like sessions destroy path. And let's try to create some kind of path like this. So I will go to our roots and I will say something like destroy or delete sessions destroy to sessions destroy. Let's see if such a path will work. Let's go to our roots. Okay, destroy doesn't match. I will make it possibly delete. And we will go to sessions and we have our sessions destroy path method delete. So let's add this path in our application. We have sessions destroy path and method delete. Is it delete? Yes, it is. Okay, now let's go back and see if it works. So I press log out and you see I get the logged out message and I don't have the ID and the username displayed anymore. Now I will press login once again. And you see I have the login information displayed. And we can also conditionally display the login and logout buttons. So for example, let's say if session user ID is present, then we will have this link to logout. Let's see. So now we have the link to log out. I log out and I don't have the link to log out. Makes more sense, right? And we'll make some similar validation for the link to log in. So let's say here in our view, if session user ID dot nil, then we will have the link to log in via Telegram. Let's see if it works. So now I have the link to log in with Telegram. I log in, and when I'm logged in, I don't have the link to log in with Telegram once again. And here is our session information. So looks very good in my opinion. Let's save our changes. Let's say git status, git add all, git commit main, and we will say link to log out via Telegram. Okay, so we can log in via Telegram, we persist the current user data in our session, and we can log out. Looks quite nice. And now let's try to also send direct messages to our users via Telegram mailer. So here in our Telegram mailer, we have an action to send a group message. And we'll create a similar action to send a private message. And here we're going to input the text and the current user data. So we will have text and user. And in the chat ID, we are not going to have anything here. We are just going to have the user here. So chat ID equals user. It's going to be the user ID. And how are we going to pass in this user ID? Well, we're going to pass it in from the current session. We can pass it in via the current session, but what if we want to send not to the current user, we want to send it more dynamically? Let's keep it here in send private message, and we will also try to send a private message when a post is updated. Let's go to our post controller, and here in the update action, we will say not only Telegram mailer.send group message, but also Telegram mailer send private message. We will have text and user data. And we're going to define this user. So the user can be, for our current case, the user who is currently logged in with this session. But if you have a users table and you have different users, you'll be able to define a specific user from this users table. So we will say user equals session user ID. And let's see if it works. Now, what are we doing? We define the user to whom we want to deliver a private message via Telegram mailer as the user from the session ID. And in our Telegram mailer, we say that the chat ID to which we deliver is the one from the session at the moment. Let's see if it works. I will go and update a post. Now I'm logged in. I will go to our posts and edit a post. So update. And you see, I actually got two messages. One was a direct message from the Telegram bot, and the other one was a group message. So it works. Now we can also receive direct messages via the Telegram mailer, and looks perfect to me. So let's save our changes. Let's say git status, git add all, git commit main, send Telegram mailer sends direct messages. But of course, to send this direct message, we would need to have a user logged in so that there is a user in the session. So looks generally good to me. And with this, we are going to finish this video. So what we learned was to add the Telegram login widget. And now we can log in, keep the user's data in the session, and log out. And we can also send the transactional messages, not only to our group chat, but directly to a user. And that's it. Thank you for being with me, and like, comment, and subscribe.